If you can't show up to a job on time or something happens or whatever, that's okay. You just need to communicate those things, right? So communication is key. Customer service is what it's all about. One thing I want to talk about before I have him on is customer service. Okay. One thing that most people get wrong, like everyone in whatever business you're in. Okay. We're talking about landscape lighting. So let's keep it real. Let's talk about landscape lighting. It's all about being the best designer, best installer, best lighting company, whatever. That's great. But honestly, like you got to understand this. You are in the customer service business. You are in the customer service business. You just happen to design and install landscape lighting. Okay. I'm sorry to break it to you. You're not in the landscape lighting business. You are in the customer service business. You just happen to design, install, maintain. Like that's just what you happen to do, but you are serving your clients at the highest level, or at least you should be. And a lot of people have this backwards. So was it last month before? I can't remember, but on one of these free trainings we did, we had a webinar and we talked about the client journey. Ryan Jaso was sharing an experience he had where he got a private golf lesson and he was super excited about it. The guy was highly recommended it. The guy was a great coach, everything else, right? Well, the lesson actually ended up being really good. So in the end, it was a good lesson, but was a bad experience was the experience, like getting to the course and finding the guy. And I'm not even going to try to share the experience because it was terrible. And he has all the details and everything. But what I can tell you is recently, about a year ago, I had the opportunity to build a house and it was exciting. We'd never had that opportunity. We're building it. And honestly, the process was terrible. The experience sucked. Like I hated the builder. The communication was terrible. They kept doing stuff backwards and doing stuff twice and fixing. And I was just like, who does this? Like who runs a business like this? I mean, it was just terrible. Now we've lived in our house now for a little over a year and we love the house. They build a great product. Their subs are awesome. Like they are a great home builder, but they've got it backwards. They think that they're a home builder. They're in the home building industry. And then they forget about this thing called customer service. If they were to just flip that and be like, you know what? We are in the customer service business. We just happen to build really nice homes. Holy cow. They could take over the world because this is a nice house, right? But most people have it backwards and I'll never build a house with this guy again because it's like, dude, you made my life miserable for a year. Like that's just not worth it. And all it takes, no one expects it to go perfect. So if your process is, if you can't show up to a job on time or something happens or whatever, that's okay. You just need to communicate those things, right? So communication is key. Customer service is what it's all about. Because just like Ryan's experience, when, overall, it was a really good lesson. Like he's like, man, that guy was top notch. Like it was really good. He's not going to go back because it was a terrible experience, right? When you consider the whole journey that he had to go on, it was just terrible. Even though the actual product was good, the service was good. And so I don't want you guys to get screwed up by this either. When you're doing landscape lighting, you got to make sure that you're there because you're in the customer service business and you just happen to do lighting. So focus on this. And I promise you, this will take you places that you wouldn't even imagine. Okay. Everyone's fighting in the same area of the ocean. They call it the red ocean, right? Because it's just a feeding frenzy and everyone's going after the same person. When you start to do things like focus on customer service, I'm telling you what, you all of a sudden are now in the blue ocean and there's no competition. You can charge what you want. You can do what you want. And it's awesome. And so that's how it works. The key to the games is service. And that's how it works. Like I said, I built this house. This house is awesome. But unfortunately, it was a terrible experience. And now I'm not going to be using this guy again. I don't refer him to my friends. People ask me all the time, hey, who built your house? It looks really nice. I tell them who it was. And I also tell them the experience. And unfortunately, they choose not to go with them. That's unfortunate. And, I know a lot of guys are like, yeah, but I don't need that. And they justify it, I'm sure. And they're like, yeah, trust me, they're plenty busy. They're not thinking about poor little old Ryan, right? They got their next customer they move on to. But that's one strategy. It's not my strategy. I would much rather have a smaller customer base, take care of them, and have them just be in my ecosystem for the rest of my life than try to just keep recruiting and recruiting and recruiting, right? Now, I like to do both because I like to scale. I like to get big. I like to do both, but I love being able to serve my client at the high end. And if you focus on that one customer today, not thinking about the next one and the next one and the next one, they're going to take care of you. Listen, when I started landscape lighting business, I had no idea how residual it was going to be. I was like, man, $4,000, I better get it. This is my last chance, And what I quickly found was that it's actually very residual. I mean, not just maintenance, but they do their front yard today, backyard 2 weeks from now, 2 years from now, whenever they add lights, right? And then they move. They get a promotion at work. They win the lottery. Who knows? I don't know what happens, but these people move. They get bigger homes. They get rich. They get richer. All right. They go from $1 million house to a $2 million house. They go from a $2 million house to a $5 million house. And I promise you, if you're taking care of them, they're going to take care of you. Right. So don't be worried too much about your next customer. Worry about the one that you've already got.